Do you have a Sony camera? Does the battery life suck? You need to get a grip. A battery grip, that is. In this video, I'm going to tell you guys why you should consider getting a battery grip if you own a Sony camera, and how this $40 battery grip can transform your workflow when you're out working with clients, shooting different videos in a bunch of different industries. Make sure to stick around to the end, smash the like button if you like this video, and let's get right into it. What's going on, guys? My name is Ryan Snaadt, it rhymes with odd, and welcome to another video. Typically I make videos that help videographers grow their brand and their exposure online, but I also sprinkle in a couple gear reviews every once in a while, so that's what this video is all about. So if you want to learn how to grow your videography business, make sure to consider subscribing and hitting the bell to get notified every single week when I upload a video. This battery grip has helped me out a lot on the last couple shoots. I've been using this for about 2 months now, so I wanted to make this video to show you guys some of the benefits that it can be if you're shooting with Sony cameras and how it can make you a better creator. The battery grip that I've been using the last 2 months is the Powerextra Sony version. It connects directly to my Sony a7S II. I'll make sure to link this up in the description box below, as well as some other options out there, just so you guys can compare price and see what's best for you. This is definitely on the cheap side compared to some of the other branded ones out there. If you're one of those people that has to have a Sony branded battery grip and spend $300 on a battery grip that says Sony on it, you can get the off my channel because I don't want you here. I'm just joking, but seriously guys, you don't need to go spend $300 on a battery grip like this. When we're talking about batteries, a lot of people realize that Sony cameras have terrible battery life. If you're using some of their older cameras, you're gonna be swapping batteries at least every 40 to 60 minutes. So having a battery grip is gonna help you a lot with that endeavor and will hopefully shorten the amount of time that you will have to be swapping batteries in the field. With battery grips, the brand name does not matter as much. So something that's a little bit cheaper, you're not going to see the drop in quality as much. Build quality is going to be a little bit more plasticky. It's not as hard of metal or something like that, but when it comes to actual performance, there's not going to be a huge difference. The Sony brand batteries last longer than the off-brand ones, but when it comes to the grips, I have not seen a lot of a difference in quality that way. Let's get into the main benefits of putting a battery grip on your Sony camera. The first benefit, and probably most obvious, is that you're going to double your camera battery life. So what's actually inside this battery grip is 2 batteries. So if you just pop it open here on the side and push this button, it'll slide out and you can see there are 2 of these regular batteries that just go right into the battery grip, and then the grip just goes directly into the bottom of the camera. So you just take this, stick it in the side, click it, and then you got 2 batteries running here. So on the heads-up display, you're gonna be able to see the battery life of battery 1 and battery 2. It's super helpful if you're doing longer shoots or running longer recording times. So anything 15 to 40 minutes long, like a wedding ceremony or an interview or something like that, where you're not doing a lot of little takes, you can let this run longer and it's gonna give you a lot more battery life. Benefit number 2 is having better ergonomics. Without the battery grip on here, this is a pretty decent camera. I can fit my hand around it pretty well. And then with probably my pinky hanging off the bottom here so I could wrap it around like that. And then you just take this, stick it in here like a magazine on a gun, and you'll notice that it's not all the way in there. It can just slide right off, so it's not secure. So all you do, there's a little thread in here. You just twist this and twist it up until the screw gets all the way in the bottom of the camera. And now the battery grip is completely attached. It's not wiggling, it's completely one big piece. And then right away, you're gonna see ergonomically, you have so much more landscape to work with here. You have this entire bottom section that you can put your hand under with 2 hands for extra stabilization. There are cutouts on here for different hand placements, so you can have your hand here on just the side, and you can see the divot just goes directly up the side for your hand to wrap around like that. You can put your hand under like this. There's also a screw on the bottom that can go for tripods, so that's a really helpful thing. Benefit number 3 is that this is going to make your rig look much more professional. Now, I'm always telling you guys and harping about how gear doesn't matter, but when you're on a shoot and you show up for the first time with a client, they're gonna start judging the hell out of what you have in your kit, and they're going to base the quality that you have based on what your equipment is that you bring to a shoot. They like to see the gear, they like to see that you have professional equipment. So by rigging up your basic camera with an extra battery grip, it makes it look a lot more meaty and just makes it look like it has a lot more to it. This is definitely something that's going to make you look more professional and beef up your smaller cameras. Now this is on an a7S II, but if you're wanting to put this on your a6500, your a6300, a6000, those little tiny cameras that, I mean, you can only do it with like 2 fingers to hold the whole thing, can make it look a lot more beefy, make it look like it's a real solid big camera and that it's a higher quality camera. I know it's kind of a smaller fact, but you'd be surprised by just putting a battery grip on here what people think of you when you pull this out of your kit. The fourth benefit of putting a grip on this bad boy is that it's going to be easier to shoot vertical photos and videos. Instagram stories and IGTV are blowing up for videographers, so if you're wanting to shoot vertical, putting the grip on here makes it much easier to do that because of the way this is set up. It's ergonomics, so you can grab it with one hand this way. You can take photos like this. The video button is on the back here, plus an autofocus. All you have to do is just switch from off to on, and then that activates all the control buttons on this. But if you're not wanting to use any of these controls, if you're just shooting normal and you don't want these buttons to be functional, you can just switch it to off and it turns them all off on the grip as well. This is great because it also has some of the custom buttons. So I use the button C3 on the back of my cameras for record, so I don't have to go and find the little tiny red button. Pro tip right there. So when you put the grip on here, there is a C3 button directly by the thumb, which is great for me because I just hit C3 and it just turns on recording right away. There are not very many cons of putting a battery grip on a Sony camera, but the main one that I had when I just put this on here is that it makes it really hard to balance on a gimbal. But if you do put it on a gimbal, like my Evo Rage that I use, which is for smaller, lighter mirrorless cameras, it does make it hard to balance and it will not hold it with that type of battery grip on here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a review video about that Evo Rage and I'll link it up in the card above. It's a great gimbal for lighter cameras, but if you put a battery grip on it, it is too heavy and it will not be able to balance it. If you're using like a DJI Ronin M or just a Ronin S, something that carries heavier cameras, it's not gonna be a big issue for you. But if you are using a lightweight gimbal like what I use, it can throw off the balance a little bit if that is something that you're using. The other con would be if you're traveling light and putting something like this on your camera, it's going to make it much bigger, much bulkier, especially if you're trying to get into like a venue that doesn't allow cameras and you're trying to be discreet. I mean, you can't really like put this in your shirt and be like, hey, how you doing? The fix for those situations is just to go with the basic camera without a battery grip on it. You're going to be limited to 40 to 50 minutes before you'd have to charge again. But again, it's based on your situation. Another con is going to be access to an SD card. If you're shooting with the older Alpha series cameras like the A6300, A6000, A6500, the SD card access is on the bottom of the camera. So if you're needing to swap out media throughout the shoot, you're going to have to unscrew this, pull it out, go get the SD card out, swap the card, put the grip back on and screw it back on. That adds extra steps for you. But if you're using a Sony a7S II or an a7S, the SD card access is on the side here, so you can just swap it right out here on the side and it doesn't have to be bothered with. But I hate swapping media out when I'm shooting videos, so what I like to do is get a 64 gig or 128 gigabyte SD card. And I'll link those up in the description box below. The ones that I use personally, I have about 3 or 4 of them of the 128. So just one of those SD cards can last me, a 12-hour wedding day, and I won't have to refill the card or swap anything out. So for a full listing of all the gear that I use with my commercial videography, as well as the stuff that I use to shoot these YouTube videos, you can check out my kit. I will link it up in the description box below. I like to say I'm a pretty diligent researcher when it comes to this type of gear. I don't do a lot of gear reviews on my channel, but I definitely watch a lot of them before I buy something like that because I want to make sure that it's a good quality and that I'm going to get a great return for my money. And when it comes to getting a great return for your money, I mean getting $42 for something like this to get all these benefits that we talked about, the extended battery life, getting a great ergonomic grip, being able to shoot vertical videos, as well as not have to carry a bunch of stuff out with you on set. I think for $42, that's a great value, and that's why I got this for myself. So if it's something that you want to get, make sure to check out the links in the description box below. I will link up some of the other competitor ones that are a little bit more pricey, but you can kind of shop around a little bit and see what's the best fit for you. And if you're new to videography or you're trying to connect with other people in this industry, I've started a Facebook group that you can join for free. We like to post questions to each other, get feedback on different videos, how we're shooting, the different business aspects, a bunch of stuff like that. So if you're interested in joining that Facebook group, I will link that up in the description box below. It is a free resource for you to use, and I encourage you guys to join and comment and share your films and kind of get some feedback from other people in the industry. When you're out shooting and editing all by yourself, it does get kind of lonely and it's hard to progress in this industry. So that's why I started this Facebook group for people just like you and I that are interested in videography and want to expand our freelance business and grow every single day. All right, that's about it for me, guys. My name's Ryan Snaadt, helping you grow your brand with video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can hit 500 subscribers before August, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.